All right, so I got interrupted. I was making a phone call. Now, somebody made a phone call, and I got interrupted. Anyways, back to where I was. You need the 3/8 to the 1/4 inch barb. Why do you need it? Because on this transmission, you drain it from here, that bolt right there on the bottom, and then you fill it from there. This little tiny hex bolt does thread in there. It does have threads, so you want to be careful not to damage those threads. But this is the fill point right here where that goes. So this barb will go in there, and you kind of, this one kind of will fit snug and hold itself, but I would still say you want to try to hold it with one hand and pump with the other. So you're pumping on one end and you're holding it there on the other. If you look, that sticks up a little higher than the pan, and this is where this is how you know if it's filled or not. So you'll drain it from back over there. Like I said, everything will drain out. See, there's nothing sticking out. It's just a drain. But this won't even allow it to drain all the way. So don't confuse this for your drain. That's why this sits up higher and has the kind of like a snorkel coming up high. Pretty much some will spill out, and then when it's done spilling out, it won't spill out anymore. It's because it's below this point, and then that's kind of the fill that you want it to be at. So anyways, there's a whole write-up online on how to do this, like step by step, the whole draining process. The guy was pretty thorough, but it wasn't a video. It was just a write-up on it, and it was one of the best write-ups I've seen. The guy was like super thorough and detailed about it. But there's a few things he didn't talk about much. He didn't talk much about the filter. He didn't really show pictures of the filter, and I wanted to make a video showing people what that filter's like. This gasket is considered a reusable gasket. It's not corkscrew, it's not paper, it's like an aluminum. So this will get cleaned and reused. And then so hard to do stuff with one hand while you're recording, but whatever. So that will get cleaned and that will go back on. Why did I take the pan off? If the filter is just a screen mesh, you can't buy a new one. They don't sell them. And they don't even sell you a gasket for this. So why take this off? Why not just drain and refill? Well, the reason why is because you got 80,000 miles on this car, and you don't know what kind of metal shavings you have built up on that magnet. I've seen worse. Could have been much worse. It's really not as bad as I thought. But there is some metal shavings that have built up on this magnet. And you're never going to get all that off of there by just draining it and refilling it. So the only way you're going to get all that off of the magnets inside the pan is to take the pan off and physically remove them. They're magnets. So they're little, you just got to grab them. See, they're magnets. And you got to clean them real good. And then put them back. They have like a little raised area there where they stay, so they don't move around with the fluid. Anyways, the point is, you're going to remove both of these magnets. And clean them really good. So the point that I'm making is, if I wouldn't have took this gasket off, if I wouldn't have taken this transmission pan off of the vehicle, and I would have just left it on and just drained it from back here and then filled it from here, you would have been filling it with all this still in here. The way it looks, you wouldn't have been able to clean all this. So we're gonna have this super duper clean magnets, super clean here, new gasket, make sure that it doesn't leak. We're gonna spray down the mesh. You don't know if there was any debris floating in the mesh that got stuck in there, in the screen mesh here. You don't know. The only way you know is if you take it apart. That's what I'm saying. This one looked good, thank God. But the only way that you know these things is if you remove them and inspect them. So for 80,000 miles, I would say, yeah, it's worth removing, it's worth inspecting, it's worth cleaning properly and putting back. Especially if this had like the original fluid and we're switching over to a much more premium fluid like AMSOIL. So especially under those circumstances, we want to do that. And by just putting this there and filling it up and letting it drain on the other side, you would have had what I call a half-ass job. You wouldn't have been able to really properly clean everything there and get the residue of all the old stuff out before you put fresh, new quality fluid in it. So that's the reason for doing that. I don't want to keep going too much longer on the video. The last thing I'll mention is what I use to clean. It's called brake parts cleaner, and it's like an aerosol can. For those of you that don't know what it is, are attempting to do this, make sure you get some brake parts cleaner. I got more than those 3 cans. I bought a box, and they sell it to you in a box. Comes with 12 of them inside of a box, and it's usually like 35, 40 bucks for a box of 12, depending where you shop. But these are 3 left over I had from another box, and then I just recently bought a new box. So I have the 12 plus these 3, have a total of 15 cans. I'm not gonna use 15 cans to clean that, but I will use a good bit of them. I'll use maybe 5 to 7 cans to clean everything under there. The front differential, the rear differential, all those things that need to be cleaned. I'll be returning these 3 items. Use the brake cleaner to clean everything, put it all back together, put the fluid in it. It's late. I'm gonna call it a night, and tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow we'll do the cleanup. On this, we'll get the filter, the pan reinstalled. We'll pump all the new fluid in and get this car back on the ground and back home to its rightful owner. Thanks for watching. I had to do a part 2 video. Like I said, I got interrupted by a phone call. Go back and watch part 1 if you're watching this, wondering what I'm talking about. God bless you. Until the next video, peace out.